Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... So yeah, it turns out I've, aside from messing up my sleep schedule yesterday with everything that was going on, um, this I just upped my upload or my stream schedule, I suppose, from the editing stream from last week, which I would normally be doing at this time, but I didn't warn anyone about that, so I haven't done that. Because usually I go straight from Believer in Gasoline to Street Life, but yeah, now now the dates are a little bit different, so we've got a bit of a gap, let's say. So I guess it was time for you to. I was checking through my comments and I saw a lot of comments on various different videos, either from YaBoiHax themselves or from their community. Requesting that I check out some more, either just more of YaBoiHax content in general, or specifically the Way Down Low series. And that's what I would be doing today, were it not for the fact that as I was scrolling through the channel, checking to see how many videos there were, what durations they had, because I doubled up the first lot, but the other ones are slightly longer, so I think of doing those like separately as singular videos. I did see this series that was something that we, that we didn't see normally because it was right after. So it seems like this is something that just started up, and there's only one episode of this, so I don't know if there'll be much of a continuation, considering that Way Down Low has persisted versus this one that hasn't. Maybe not. It depends. I'm the last person to judge or cast any stones regarding making one episode of a series and not following up on it. I have done it multiple times in the past. But it's still worth checking out because, as I was just saying to Everly yesterday, I usually go and check back from the creator's origins to see how they evolve. So on the evolution chain, I guess this is the next one on the list: the Maid and the Prince, which is described. I think I should probably just read out the description of it. If oh wait, never mind. I closed the video. Basically, the description was saying that was about this, that there's one main character who gets obsessed with this particular story, but doesn't like the ending of it. So, but also is infatuated with one of the characters within the story. So, and I guess, I don't know, either makes them come to life or gets isekai into the story. That part I don't know. That one, the description didn't say on that one. That, I guess that's the subject of the video itself. So yeah, I guess that's why talking about like this different power imbalance. The power imbalance could be on the grounds of royalty versus a maid, or it could be somebody disguised as a maid within a story that they know they are from the outside of, in which case the power imbalance goes the opposite way. I mean, it really does depend. I mean, I suppose that, when you're royalty, you can't really avoid there being a power imbalance due to societal status, I suppose, in your relationships, whatever they may end up being. So, I suppose in that sense, this is somewhat of inevitability in that sense, unless you happen to marry, other royals, which, is a common practice. But of course, that obviously led to things that it led to. And if we're talking about things the Gacha community has ruined, that's something else that they have emphasized quite significantly that I'm definitely relieved we're not touching today. They could, of course, all just stay friends, as this is pointed out here. Not even need to be a romance. That is very much true. Maybe the infatuation is just from a admiration perspective rather than a romance one. So I don't know. I guess there's not much else to speculate on. Let's go ahead and see what we're talking about. So, without further ado, on with the review. Maid and the Prince. Already a very different vibe to Way Down Low. Well, at least in the logo, from how that series started, and like the main characters, like the way that their their general attitudes go, this actually goes to stark contrast immediately even with the hearts alone. So who knows, maybe this is a different avenue of exploration. Okay. Inspired by Kinokawa's 2020 original. Okay, gonna make a note to put that one on the list for the future. Or maybe if I'll tell you what, if this video's not that long, so if I don't end up saying that much and this stream ends up being like very short, I will find the Kinokawa original and then we'll compare and contrast. All right. Like the lighting so far? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, because that was just a regular existing gacha background, but it does, it was. It's interesting that that scene would be edited in the way that it was, considering that it was just the title card. I wonder if that's going to be significant later or not. I also wonder about this, either this is my screen corrupting, or something has gone on with this character's face. So, all right, let's see.
She hit me again. I swear, I don't have to do much nowadays to get one. I don't know why.
Okay, if it's voice acted, then yeah, we probably are going to end up being a very short stream. Just so I'm going to be having to pause and talk as much. So, so yeah, we might. I might have to find that one basically. Yeah, or actually, you could ask a favor. Somebody else could like find that and link it to me. So I can like put it in directly. That would save a lot of time. Save a lot of dead air, I suppose. He paused mid transition somehow. I think the music's like fade out a little bit, but then afterwards, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm wondering about like the jump cut style editing of the images here. I guess maybe because like the mouths aren't moving, to add like a little bit more like dynamism to it, they decided to, I guess, zoom in and out quite a lot. That's something that I do in like some of the like the what if videos, the ones where I'm recording talking on camera. I sometimes like do that as a bit of as a slight technique. Not usually done in scripted shows like this, so that's probably the difference. Okay, thank you.
She's been acting like this ever since Dad died. It's like she's been an entirely different person.
I mean, okay, so on one hand, yes, we're doing exposition again, but on the other hand, there's a slight like missing part of exposition that's not there entirely yet. Who is the she? What was she like beforehand? It's there's something to it. We're not getting all the answers verbally yet, so it could be worse.
Like a warden of sorts.
I'm wondering about the grain on this as well. If it's meant to be like either a flashback or a slight like blurry image or a smoke. Yeah, I don't know.
I can only hope that something changed in the future, because right now, it feels like I barely have a say in anything anymore.
Okay. You know what? Okay, scratch that. I think I know what's going on here. So, what it seems like, because there's no, to my knowledge, there's no cinematic significance to jump cutting to different dimensions of a character like this. When they're not speaking or trying to or adding a comedic effect to it, and they're just moving normally. So so with that in mind, yeah, I think so I got distracted by a message in the chat for a second. Yeah, I think what's happening here is that the screenshots are done from like a snipping tool of some kind. Maybe it's the snipping tool, maybe it's like one of the ones that's a different thing, but basically done by like a drag and capture, which is why the dimensions are entirely off rather than them being consistent and going across the entire screen. I've done things with snipping tool before, like that's how I work on like PNG tubers for Missions of Occulta, for example. But usually what I do for that is to make sure that the same size. I screenshot the entire screen and then cut it out in an art program. But that's only for that's a PNGs, obviously not for like a video. That's a different process. And obviously don't send do all your screenshots and put them through an art program so that they shrunken down to what you need. No, of course not. It's just capture the entire screen if you must. And then if you don't have a way to zoom in, resize the backgrounds and characters, that will probably be, much better. So yeah. Okay, the message I was messing, yeah, so the channel is something. They've got a GCM called Puppy Love, apparently. Okay. All right, well, we'll put that one on the list as well for a different day. Obviously, there's something else to compare and contrast it to, but I've already reviewed my own work, so oh well. All I can see is Travis when I look at the main character. I mean, yeah, green eyes, whitish hair. I get it. Yeah. It's not as bad as that one guy from My Passion. Although I guess because it was a fellow Minecraft character, it's probably that's probably why the comparison was so unmissable, let's say. Ah, Madeline the Maid. Her name is almost Madeline.
Hello, Solium. I've been assigned to be at your service for this period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, for this period of time? What period of time? I haven't specified a period of time yet. I'm guessing what she meant to say was for the time being, but I don't know.
What's so good about you?
Apparently we've viewed this channel before. Okay. That's great. Have you found the Maid video yet? You know that you can like type in and search the word Maid into like a channel if that makes it easier for you, because it seems like there's a huge back catalog of things.
Huh?
I don't want company right now. Your first order is...
Also, very interesting that he was unnecessarily harsh to her in this sense, because of because he was just talking about who I presume would be like his mum, like talking down to him of becoming a different person because his dad died, but he himself is processing grief in the same way. A bit of a generational thing. All right.
To leave.
I literally searched up Maid. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't come up. Try Prince. I don't know.
I apologize if my sudden arrival has startled you, Solium. But rest assured, I care not only for your well-being, but your feelings as well, and your inner thought.
Okay, the blush seems like unnecessary here. She went from like professional to an Aiden NPC in a microsecond. Granted, that's also how Aiden does his NPCs, but anyway.
Really?
Yes.
Kinda confusing. No one really cares about what I think. If you really want to help, you could...
Like saying, I'm confused, but you think about my internal thoughts? You must be the one.
Let's just meet in the library.
Of course.
She seems so happy.
Okay. Might be hypocritical coming from me, but that's a little bit too much reverb or too much echo for internal thoughts. I would say tone it down a bit, but keep the effect, because that was the logical choice to do, of course. Yeah. Impurity must take, because that Maid has purple hair and matching purple eyes. She must be a witch. Well, I know he has white hair and he looks very young, so I'm not going to question it. I'm not questioning that part.
Why are you so far away?
Oh, no reason.
Because crowding someone while they're reading is very distracting. Trust me, I've been there before. Having someone like near you when you're trying to like read or like watch something or write or anything, it's just like, what are you doing?
It's just standard for me to...
I don't like it. You should sit next to me.
Wouldn't that be unprofessional?
Not in my book.
But there's no chairs. It's Gacha Life 1. A chair will materialize behind you.
Look.
Yeah.
I don't...
Sit. Now.
And there's the power dynamic. I'm also wondering, because I swear this video did say that it was all about somebody who, like, didn't like the way that a character ended or something. So that's why I made like the description. But so far, it just seems like everyone is, exists within this narrative anyway. It's confusing. You know what? Let me just bring up the video again, because this feels very strange that that's not being addressed. Let's see. The Maid and the Prince. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to read the description for you. Okay. All right. In this episode, a young girl named Kathy reads a classic book entitled The Maid and the Prince. She gets hooked into the series and its tragic end. Having grown an attachment to the main character, Liam, she is shocked at the sudden twist of an ending and will vow to change it. Okay, and for the record, Madeline and Kathy are credited as two different people. My first thought was, okay, maybe Madeline, maybe Kathy became Madeline in the story, and she's and it's called sort of like a self-insert situation. Um, maybe that was it, but yeah, I don't know, because they're credited as two different people. So like, all right, I guess we'll see. I think you found it. I think you assume as the Spore Prince, the overprotective knight. Okay. Yeah, I guess 2020 original is not a very a very good indication. There's not much to go on, I guess.
He's quite stubborn, though. I'd be lying if I said this isn't nice. Must have been very tired. Should carry him back.
Do you like how you got up from bed and then went to the library to sleep again? I mean, again, after the day I had yesterday, I don't blame him, but still.
Back to his bedroom now. Good morning, Solium.
Good morning, Madeline.
Did you rest well?
No, any of the boss has with great inspiration, only the creator, the Kino Code in Starchy posting in 2023. If that's the case, I'm going to suspect that maybe the original video was deleted. If there was nothing before 2023, then yeah, I would definitely have guessed archives in that case.
Rested better for once. Hey, I don't usually say stuff like this, but I really appreciate you sticking around with me yesterday. More than you think.
Okay. So the problem with like how this is going so far, I think, aside from the fact that obviously the situation of like, wow, I don't normally say this kind of thing, but I'm actually really grateful to you and whatever, but don't think too much of it, obviously. I still think you're a lonely maid or whatever, blah 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 blah, that kind of thing. I like the video found anyway, pop it up. Well, the whole point was to compare and contrast. If I compare and contrast it too, I don't think there's much that I can really like say about it. Like, it's just two unrelated videos then, and that's not the point of this. So, I'll definitely want to review Puppy Love at some point, later, because obviously, but the prince and the knight thing doesn't seem. Yeah, I don't know. But thanks for trying.
It can get pretty lonely around here.
Oh yeah, what I was saying before about this. So the problem is that we haven't actually seen like much of him before this point. Like if he saw like a little bit like his actions, maybe like after his dad died, and he starts to like treat people differently aside from just this one person. That would be that would give us something to go with. And yeah, I know that there's a lot of particularly like one-off episodes of things where it's just two people. Well, we know there's going to be more because there's more credits in the description. But even if it would just happen to be these two people bonding, usually those kinds of stories don't happen until later on into a story's plotline. So you can actually start to I was going to say, geez. Yeah, so you can actually like see like where they got to, like understand the characters a bit more than just like those moments next to them, or you get like the context of how they got there, for example, or whatever. I don't know, something along those lines, and there's something that gets like further revealed about them. So it's not usually square one is the point. So because we haven't seen much of the prince before now, the words, oh, this, I don't normally say this, mean nothing to us as the audience. Yeah.
So, I thank you.
It was no trouble, really. I do believe it is time to water the plants.
Why did her face like shade down like that? Normally that like is meant to be like in Gacha. Normally that's meant to be like unhinged madness or possibly like sadness of some kind. Why was she sad about the fact that she's being confided in?
Is it not?
Prince stuff. Well, I got a better idea. Why don't we go a little off script? I don't feel like running into my...
I've got a better idea. My chat's been saying before, but move away from your microphone a little bit. Do that.
My mother again anytime soon, and plus, I think it'd be pretty nice to just go and relax in the garden instead.
That's quite the idea.
When's the last time you've relaxed?
Fair point.
What if it's for Madeline if Kathy's just brought to the book by this point? Well, yeah, I mean, the video itself doesn't establish that it's a book. It's only the description that tells you that.
Wish I could come out here more often.
It's beautiful.
Imagine if Kathy just like showed up right now, like, you know, just like through a portal or something. It's like, oh my gosh, you're the prince. I have a chance to save you from your terrible fate. And he's like, wait, what? How did you get here? Imagine the audience being so confused about that.
It is, isn't it? We're not working while we're out here. We can just chill.
But please define this word chill for me.
You can just call me Liam. You know,
I wonder if like the reason behind like the walking cycles being so close up is so that we don't see them teleporting across the screen.
it's funny. I've never had anybody to do this with.
I can't.
I'm not normally like this. I don't have anyone else aside from you that I've talked to in this way. This is a place I've never taken anyone to before. And I'm getting all of the like the rom-com like, you know, cliches, but we're not getting, you know, anything from either one of them really. I mean, some of the time this is going to be a terrible, terrible comparison, but I swear it makes sense in my head. So, does anyone remember that that one like Wattpad fan fiction of One Direction that got turned to a movie? I think it was called After. Uh, yeah, in that we go through like this idea of, you know, like the very distant the very distant person. I think his name was like Hardin. Like he was like he was obviously, you know, like incredibly dismissive at first. You know, he doesn't like open up basically. So yeah, like obviously him being closed off and not like opening up to like someone like to this degree that goes to the main character makes the reason that, you know, I was gonna say works, but it's after nothing works in that. The reason that why it functions as it is intended to is because he's not the main character. And maybe the maid was supposed to be the main character because they say that she gets top billing as the maid and the prince, not the prince and the maid. But we start off the story from Liam's perspective. We get Liam's backstory. You know, Madeline just shows up out of nowhere, reveals nothing about her as a character, so we can't really say that she's a protagonist in the same way that they sure, you know, Tess was. If it had been for like her perspective, like how she like worked up to this point, or you know, maybe like she got the opportunity to work with the prince. It's like, oh, I wonder what the prince is going to be like. Oh, he's actually not as bad as everyone says. You know, she like built up in her head that there was some big issues. Like, ah, yes, but I'm going to care about him or whatever. Like even that would have worked. But we got nothing from her. We get the bare minimum from him. So in either situation, you just get like, oh yeah, normally I wouldn't do this. What do you normally do? You know, we get that like. We know what these characters aren't, but what are they is the question. Also, yes, it's a movie or a TV show on Wattpad. Hey, technically, it got made into a movie. 3, I think. It got 2 sequels, but yeah. It's like I was saying to Everly yesterday. You know, I will pull media comparisons from anywhere to anything.
Recall the last time I've been able to sit down for more than 10 minutes.
I didn't understand a single word of what you just said. Aside from for more than 10 minutes. No, you know what? The siren's going. I'm going to listen to this again. Okay, hold on.
It's funny. I've never had anybody to do this with.
I can't recall the last time I've been able to sit down for more than 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, I can't recall the last time being able to sit down for more than 10 minutes. Okay. And that's time is not now, because that was like 1. Okay, was that just like a summons? Was that like an actual state of emergency? Anyways, I guess Helena the Queen gets her name tag for a second. Is that why the shots are just like from like their heads basically, so that you can pretend that like their name tags are still there, or was that just not an option to I mean, I feel like his name tag would be visible, but no, never mind. Hers isn't either. Which also, now that I think about it, they both got like captions with specific fonts as their name introductions. Why did Helena only get the actual the actual like like display name on Gacha itself? Why the difference between the two characters? I don't get that. Was that a tornado siren? It did sound like that, which is why I thought it was an emergency state thing, but no, apparently he's just been summoned.
You.
Me?
I was also going to say.
I must say, I'm disappointed in your son. Oh, you, son, not your.
All right. It's a funny blooper. I'll give you that. I personally would not have left this in until the very end, because now, all right. Normally bloopers go well like at the end, and then I know it's like a safe thing to do, but I guess to not break the immersion in the moment. Yes, it's the blooper they left in, and okay. I can't pretend that I haven't done something similar to this before, but like I've left in a couple of like cast ad libs basically, or I've spliced away someone's like giggles when they like corpsing out of character, and then they like use that as that the real laughter that gets sent or whatever. I've done these different things, but yeah, not when like it's covered up, but it becomes immersion breaking. Like you could, I guess like you could. I mean, again, last time I actually even dislike this was having puppy love. Maybe you could argue that some of BB's deliberate ad libs of you want to go to Hollywood wouldn't make any sense. I should have taken those out. But things like new student from Mrs. Dysart became iconic to at least Aiden specifically. So yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to end up relying on this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Not relying on it, I guess, but you don't want to end up leaning into it too much, is what I meant to say. Yeah. Prince missing from the castle. Fire up the tornado siren! Let the nation panic. I need my son back.
It's been 4 months since your father passed, and you've not shown any desire to come forward and vow to take his place.
Okay, that is exposition. That is full exposition compared to the line from 4 that was only half.
It isn't for me.
It's your duty, is it not? Without you to lead this kingdom into the future, who would?
I presume a different relative of some kind. That's how it always works.
Rather desert your people?
They'll find some other guy I don't know. I made it clear to Dad a long time ago. This stuff just wasn't for me, and he understood. Now he's gone.
Ah, yes. Well, you see, have you ever seen Shrek the Third? This is the plot of Shrek the Third. I don't want to be king. I'll find someone else. There's another heir. Go find him or something. There you go.
I don't have the time to think about this type of stuff.
Then it's not up to him anymore, is it?
What?
I mean, that's blunt but true, I suppose.
I won't argue with you on this. I'm not fond of your attitude at all. Since you clearly can't think for yourself, I'll have to decide for you once again.
You wouldn't.
There will be a ceremony held tomorrow. You are to be bathed, well rested, and properly clothed to begin the day. And whether you like it or not,
I feel like that would probably be standard procedure anyway, but sure.
you will announce to everyone that you will take his place once my time is done. Understood?
Okay, so here's a little bit of a few minor drawbacks, I guess, to this plan from the Queen. There's a very easy way around this, basically. Yes, you can announce that. First of all, she said like when her time is done, which could mean it could be either like when she dies or when she decides to abdicate. But guess what? What you could just do is actually, yeah, exactly what Bond said right here. I'm king. My first degree as king is not be king anymore. Roll credits. Exactly. Just abdicate. Yeah, exactly. What could she do in that scenario? You know, she's not the queen anymore. It's up to it would be it would be like, you know, his decision. So yeah, that's it. Done. And then find the next person in line who, you know, hasn't abdicated yet. It's perfect. Or even better, find an actual successor, again, like Shrek did. Find an actual successor so that so that it then works, you know? It's so you can then choose them specifically. Like, I mean, come on.
Fine.
Now run along, child. I must have a private discussion with this maid of yours.
What about?
That's none of your concern.
You could just ask anyway.
Hey, are you okay? She didn't say anything to you, right?
Yes. I am fine, Liam.
Okay. I will commend the voice actor here. You know, and it's difficult, obviously, when you're doing like dealing with other ASMR people and people who leave bloopers in. But yeah, standout performance here particularly.
But we truly must hurry prepare you for tomorrow.
It's one of the things that it's difficult to play you know, composed but breaking apart internally without just underplaying the entire performance. It's a very difficult balance of you want something to get out, but you're restricting it, but you need that energy still, but you need to master that energy. It's not as simple as people make it out to be, so I do appreciate that. Yes, the audio's getting harder and harder to hear. That's very true. Yeah, but other than that.
Well, I guess if you're there, it won't be as bad.
The next day.
Here you go, Liam.
I have a prediction that the queen will be the victim of this story, not Madeline. Okay, well, I'm gonna change my prediction here and say that, you know, that all of this is just Kathy reading the book, and then at the last second we reveal that there's a book, and Kathy just like, I don't like this ending, scribble or something, and then like the ending changes as a result of that. There you go. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Liam.
Gee, I've never seen pancakes this detailed in a while. You
Okay, sorry. It will never not be funny to me when somebody. I mean, okay, I get that doing like food props or something. It's one of the like the shortcomings of Gacha. The food props in Gacha are terrible, especially the ones in Gacha Life. I am not. I am not saying that, you know, I'm not going to pretend otherwise in the slightest. However, if you know that you're not going to be able to pull off putting pancakes into a video, don't have the character verbally talk about the pancakes that are next to them. Why would you do that? Ah, yes, this bowl of minestrone soup that I have in my hands right now. You know, like, what are we expected to do in that scenario? I mean, you could even like say like the bowl of fruit that's actually part of the background was, you know, his breakfast or something, you know? That nice nutritional bowl of, you know, mostly vitamins and sugar. Yeah, that's whatever. A meal fit for a prince indeed, of course. You know, that would have worked. But no, you had to emphasize it was something that we can't see when you don't like. It's a difficult lesson to learn because, like, I also, you know, like I also used to used to write things that were far out of the realms of my possibility, like at least a little bit. With Mutant Girl, I kind of like turned the line because I saw, you know, I did experiment a little bit with Gacha before starting that series, so I knew a little bit like how like what I could get away with and other stuff that I couldn't, and you know, either learnt to do in some other way, or you know, simply had to toss aside. So yeah, and then the only exception, I guess, again, is Puppy Love, where you know I was writing that, you know, with the intention that it was going to be made, it was going to be like, you know, made and edited by someone else who at the time had yeah, had better, you know, visual prowess than I did. So when it came down to actually me making the series, I was like, oh great, I'm out of my depth immediately because I wrote this without a way that I knew how to do the thing. So nowadays I always write with the intention of, I know how to do this particular thing. Even if some items don't, I will cover for them when the time is right. Yeah. so yeah. Yeah, with that in mind, yeah, it's one thing I always look out for, like, okay, don't, fly too close to the sun, I guess, and burn your pancakes is my main point. Pancakes. That's another good point. The pancakes being detailed as well is like another thing. We're emphasizing like how detailed the pancakes are, but there's nothing on the screen here that even makes it even worse. There's no details and no pancakes.
Shouldn't have.
Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't have. I think I'm being so realistic. It half is what sort of time to. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I think actually, well, yeah, a lot of people like either talk about either like baby seals or like other stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's that. I mean, that's obviously emotional recall or like, emotional reaction anyway, because that's a very Stanislavskian technique, so that makes perfect sense to do. Yeah, it's also. Yeah, I remember that when I was in drama school, I also got given the advice of, inhale 3 times, exhale once, to make it sound like you're crying. Obviously there's a little bit more to it than that, but that's like part of it. Like the breathing technique down is because someone is trying to talk while they're crying. They're trying to like either take in air because they're expelling it all, so they breathe in a lot more than they breathe out. Yeah, it's a balance like that. Yeah.
You surely need plenty
The happy music by Fusa to yeah, that's fair.
of energy for your day. Well, you're just so charming. How could I not?
You're just so charming. The way that you exchange minor pleasantries with me and then commanded that I sit next to you. Truly, I am in love. Yes, right? Of course. Hours later, Liam collapses. Possibly from malnutrition because his pancakes were invisible. And Madeline awaits permission to enter his room. Just a guy me didn't cry though. I haven't seen the music video. I've heard the song though. I used to hear it on the radio a lot. So yeah, I guess that might be why.
I'm going to die, Madeline. But at least I still have you.
I tell you what, there is actually another song the song that I would have there because I discovered it recently, but I'm gonna use that probably next time for me specifically. So I'll send that to you because it's from a movie as well.
I did it.
Huh?
I poisoned you.
No, I don't.
I guess this is the tragic ending that what was her name? Jeez, Clara, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Believe you.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because I fell in love with you. I promised myself I wouldn't, but I did.
It's been a day.
And it was hell. It made my heart hurt. So,
Yeah, Kathy. Yeah, I'm not surprised. If I were Kathy, I would also change this ending.
I had to get rid.
It is very interesting, by the way, to see a gacha tuber coming up with a purposefully bad ending compared to an actual bad ending.
My attachment.
You wouldn't do that. You love me, don't you? You're just lying.
That's his last words. I don't believe you. I call shenanigans. Ugh.
And then he died.
I guess Madeline's the narrator now. Okay. I guess yeah, all right then. What a cut. I'm crying of laughter. Since we brought up SpongeBob earlier, actually, in this comment here, yeah, there is actually, there's an actual episode of SpongeBob where Patrick writes a song and then like as part of like a competition, like the band has to record all the songs that were made, for whatever reason. So they start to record his song, and they just go like a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, and boom, cut to organ music. All of the band under the tombstones. Yeah. Yep. So. And then, of course, the song got made because they did actually power through, and the rest of the episode is all about that. But that's what I mean. So yes, this is a similar edit to an actual SpongeBob episode. So we've had comparisons to a comedy series making a joke and a Wattpad fan fiction.
I wonder, did he deserve what happened to him?
What? Why are you asking that question? What do you mean?
If I had a second chance, would I have done the same thing?
I would say no. I'd have poisoned the queen, the person who actually, like made you feel sad or whatever. Like, what? Huh?
I don't know. All I know is he's resting wherever he is.
Yes, underground. At least, like poetically speaking, at least he was buried in the place that they got, they went to together because it was significant to him. On some level, yeah, okay.
The end?
And there it is. Sorry, Ghost Kitty, but your prediction didn't come true, but mine certainly did. All right, then. Kathy, please fix it.
What?
Or that's the end of the first episode, because then it was meant to carry on further into something else, and then get changed as a result. Yeah, I guess I did say this was only one episode of, something happened, yeah. Okay, final, yeah, half Oracle about, yeah, I'll take that, yeah, I'll take it, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Final media pull here. This is exactly what someone did when the To Be Continued rolled and Across the Spider-Verse. I guess that's a more flattering comparison than after. So yeah, that's kudos on, I guess, a cliffhanger ending. A nice, beginning premise. I suppose the main character, would have to be Kathy for the future of this. So maybe that's why we didn't get to know much about the prince. Maybe Kathy was just skim reading the plot or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that was, I guess, the ending was sufficiently dissatisfying, but, but, for the right reason. It was dissatisfying, but intentionally so. As if that, I don't know. Why'd you ask me? Who are you? I'm reading your book, and now I'm going to burn it. Wait, no! Oh no! I'll go back. I'll change my ways. Say it's not too late. I'm a different maid now. Ironic enough, A Christmas Carol's another one of those books that I think probably, the way that the resolution came about was probably a bit too abrupt. But there you go. Again, nothing compared to the opera I sat through yesterday. If I got the chance to, travel to 1893 and, find Gilbert and Sullivan, I definitely would have been like, hey, what? Hold on a second. We're just, don't mind me just adding an addendum here. So yeah, this would have been a great, premise for a series of okay, well, how is she going to change it? Maybe she's going to have to, find creative ways to try to avoid this fate, but it continues to happen. Maybe she has to try to unmask Madeline at one point and it fails in an episode. She has to go back in time again. Maybe she tries to talk to the queen and find out what the queen said to her, and that doesn't pan out for whatever reason, or someone gets intercepted, or actually there's a lot of there's a lot of good opportunities in this story that could almost be like a time loop. She keeps trying to go back and fix ending of this book, but obviously, in this case, the future is literally written. There's so I'm guessing that was what the main idea for the story was going to be. But again, because I guess, Way Down Low continued and this didn't, that, we haven't either you haven't seen that yet or it's left open up in the air for someone else to take over. So I don't know. Write that one down if you want to feel like a Ghost Kitty. I don't know. Yeah, cliffhanger. Tut, tut, tut. Yeah. All right. But anyways, yeah, pros, I like the lighting and the leaves in the beginning. I guess the end as well, because it's the same time card. The twist was something I didn't like the rest of it. Cons, ASMR, poor direction, loops about the immersion, my effing pancakes, the splice script up in Whiplash, and the script like a mini movie than a series. Yeah, that's actually also another good point. This could be maybe like part 2 is Kathy interfering and changing the story potentially. I don't know. And that just gets left off of that, or it's a trilogy because she tries one thing, fails, and then succeeds in the third one. I don't know, something like that. That could also happen if YaBoiHax doesn't want to turn this into an entire story. If they did, I would honestly not be disappointed because, yeah, again, I like the foundation of this. Definitely, I would probably say again, not the best beginning, in execution. Like, yeah, the prince is definitely more character in this. The maid's motivations, like, I guess it was meant to be like a huge surprise. I suppose now looking back at the shadow scene, I said before it could be like unhinged madness, like a shaded face rather than like the sadness. So I guess now that does paint a different picture. So this video does have rewatch value. I'll say that much. You can start to see like the seeds of what's been of what is brewing on a second viewing. I'll give it that, but it doesn't have that much else to it. The thing is that it's just lacking detail and substance to the to the ingenious premise that it brings forward. That's the problem here. I was gonna compare it to the beginning of Believer in Gasoline because again on my mind, but yeah, that beginning was a little bit too detailed in certain areas, and even more scattered as a result. This just happens to be the opposite side of that, where this is doesn't have that much, and so but at least it does feel very structured and straightforward, probably because it is scripted because it's voice acted, so it kind of has to be. So yeah. My confusion about the execution of it aside, I did kind of again, half but it was going to happen later. I also love the half bingo comment, by the way. I didn't I didn't miss that. Clap and a half to you. There you go. The Alessandro backstory said to Eva's go, but yeah. Yeah. Like I know I'm not saying this did it better. This absolutely didn't do it better. Well, it stayed it was better at staying focused. It was better at not confusing the heck out of us while watching. But it wasn't. But it didn't set up as much of a world for itself. It didn't introduce the core characters. It didn't introduce the different factions or kingdoms or anything it was supposed to do, like Believer's Gasoline did. So yes, overall, definitely better. But this one was better at specifically keeping itself focused, even though it could have benefited with a little bit more to it, because if Kathy's going to get invested in the story, we need to as well as the audience. So yeah. I would say good luck for the future, but I suppose it's if it's not going to be developed further, then who knows? Someone watching this, you never know. Get in contact with YaBoiHax, and actually, you know what? I'm going to do the reverse. YaBoiHax and their fan base have been commenting on my videos to go back to my content. If we I'll say let's do the same in return. So if you feel like this series should continue, go ahead and leave a comment of some kind. Like, say for example, I don't know, what happens next? Just comment what happens next on the video. Who knows? Maybe they'll see an influx of comments from there, and YaBoiHax will get a little bit of motivation from my follow base, just like I got it from theirs. But we will be returning to Way Down Low, I suppose, next week at the earliest. So for those who actually want to see that series talked about in more detail, I guess now I can contrast it to this. You will get your wish in a little bit in the future. But yes, much like this video, the ending of this stream is going to end somewhat abruptly. So, thanks everyone for watching this, and yeah, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. As you haven't done so already, I'm gonna download the other video of Puppy Love, so I don't forget where it is. And on that note, until next time, farewell.